Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is Suffix 9. The suffix today is Cide, C-I-D-E, of course, used as a word ending. Okay, somebody wants a screenshot? Do it now. Let's get right to it. The suffix Cide is taken directly from Latin, referring to killing or an act of a killer, and it's usually used to form nouns. All right, let's continue. Here are some of the most common examples, that we come across. Genocide, homicide, pesticide, suicide, infanticide, and pseudocide, etc. All right, let's continue. Genocide is the murder of huge numbers of people of a particular race. We do hear this sometimes. This is probably the most famous example we always hear about. The Nazis participated in a genocide of the Jews during World War II. Sometimes in Africa, some African countries, there's a certain group that they might try to do a genocide of. So we hear it used kind of in this way. Number 2, homicide, probably one of the most common ones, is the crime of killing or murdering people. Yeah, so it's the more formal word that basically a way of charging someone with murder. He was charged with 3 homicides, which means, he was charged with killing 3 people. Okay, let's continue here. Pesticide is a chemical for killing insects, especially ones that eat crops. Yeah, so sometimes you see that the farmers, they have the big plane and they drop a lot of the spray down on the fields, of course the crops, to help keep the insects away, or small animals so that, they don't lose their whole crop. All right, so let's continue here. Farmers often spray pesticides on their crops. All right, let's continue. Suicide. Suicide, of course, the act of killing oneself. All right, so suicide, so you kill yourself. The rate of suicides increased during the COVID-19 crisis. Yeah, because, with all the lockdowns and destroyed a lot of businesses and broke up a lot of families, a lot of people lost their jobs and stuff, and there was a huge increase in suicides during this time. All right, let's continue. In infanticide, it's the crime of killing an infant or a very, very small child. Well, an infant is usually the child before they can even walk. But if we say infanticide, so it's usually that small a child, very, very small. And we hear infanticide is a terrible crime. All right, let's continue. Pseudocide. All right. Pseudocide is a faked or pretended death. So if there was somebody, for whatever reason, they wanted to disappear, they wanted to pretend that they died, or they wanted somebody at least to think that they were dead, they may do a pseudocide. Okay, here's the example. Some people who claimed an Elvis sighting, that they saw him, of course, after his death, believe he may have planned a pseudocide. Or sometimes we might see this if there was, a witness, maybe the mafia somebody's after. Maybe later on they may do a pseudocide, so the mafia stops looking for these people. So they did a pretend death, and this way the person could disappear somewhere else, and nobody's going to look for a dead person. That's the idea. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it was clear. I hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.